Welcome everybody to the Pissed Rhino Show. Been doing a little bit of work on the speed infraction, so I thought I would talk about it a little bit today. Got some new parts in, and we'll go through exactly what else I have to do to get this thing going. It's gonna be a while. I'll just tell you that right up front. It's not gonna be done tomorrow. Still waiting on tons of parts, but I'm gonna give an update. So here we go. Let's look at these little guys. The first thing I did was take off the stock shocks off the Infraction I have, and I put hot racing caps, adjusters, and lockable eyelet. It actually screws into this so this plate can't come off. I won't be using these springs. I'll be using something else, which we'll talk about at a later date once I get them. But as you can see, I got all four, and these are bleedable, so we can set them up properly. But yeah, there's the four shocks ready to go. And that's the first thing I did on this build. Those parts came in quickly, so they got done first. They look cool, and I already did the bleeding process and all that, and they're pretty stiff, and I think the springs that are coming are going to be like bricks. But some people don't use shocks at all in the front. They just put like tie rods in the front instead of shocks, and then they keep the rear shocks. But I think I'm going to keep all four shocks, but just make them pretty tight. So this guy showed up yesterday. Gonna have to scoot my chair over here. I'm a little off center. This is New Motors by Neu Racing. They've been making motors for over a decade. The motor that I chose is a New Motor 1533. They make a 1530 and a 1539, I think it is. But this one is rated for unprepped surfaces, 8S. If I start drag racing, I'll start drag racing with this motor, because it can drag as well. But I will probably end up getting a 1539, which is for prepped surfaces, so that's more drag related. 8mm pinion shaft. It is 40mm around, so it's not. To keep that in perspective, the motors on my Creightons are 56mm around, so they're much bigger than this. This is skinny, but as you can see right here, it's much longer. I think this is 130mm, whereas the Hobby Wing 5690s go to about probably right about there. So it's way longer than a normal motor. This thing has the capability of giving you an output of over 6,000 kilovolts, so 6,000 watts. I'm sorry. So it's pretty feisty. From what I've read and from talking to the owner, it's gonna be interesting. I've posted some pictures online. The biggest thing I get is, oh, there's two. One is this motor's too expensive and TP motors are faster. Well, I mean, that can always be true. There's always going to be a faster motor. They're continuously improving. But with this setup, I don't think that's going to be correct. But it just depends on which motor you're going to use. I mean, I chose one that's for unprepped surfaces, 8S. I mean, you could put a 12S motor in your car and have much more power. So yeah, this might not be as fast as some. I guess it's hard to explain. But the other thing that people are talking about or comment is that, oh my God, the chassis is too heavy. Why'd you go with a chassis? You could have went with carbon fiber. Yes, I know I could have went with carbon fiber. I have a good friend in the industry that makes them, Beast Mode RC. But I wanted the protection of aluminum. I wanted the weight so I could keep it planted on the ground. So obviously, if I was trying to build a 220 mile an hour vehicle, I would want paper thin carbon fiber. I would want a different motor, maybe 2 or 3 motors. Sorry, 4 motors. There's all kinds of things you could change, but that's what makes them personal. This is mine. It's my thoughts in a vehicle form. It might be a little slower than some. It might be faster than some. But this is my interpretation of when I hear drag or speed run vehicle, this is what I see. I do see a carbon fiber chassis too. I mean, that would be fine. But I wanted to go with EVS, and they CNC everything in-house, and they just do a wonderful job. Just Bash It RC is just, I mean, it's the pinnacle of aluminum chassis and parts. And it's not that heavy. It really isn't. And it's actually weighted pretty well. Well, right now, it's not. Let's see, left to right. Look at that. Now the cool thing is I'm going to be putting 2 of the same batteries in, so I'm not going to affect the weight distribution. But that, it's not trying to go anywhere. Here, I'm taking my fingertips off and I'm just touching it with the outside of my fingers. Very difficult to do. And it's flat. So that is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to break any speed records. This is my first try at a speed run vehicle. So if this thing even hits 100 miles an hour, it's a win. Because that's the fastest that I've ever had an RC car. I think. I don't know. I've had some... I've never had a purpose-built speed vehicle. So, and I've never checked the speed except on one vehicle. I had a Slash. I lived down in Georgia. I was working for Solo Cup. I was a quality manager at Solo Cup. And I bought a Slash to play around with, to bash. It's when they had just came out. And they had a class for racing them at the hobby shop that I went to. So I bought one, and then somehow I ended up with a 7,000 kV Castle motor. And I don't know what it was a Castle ESC, but I don't know which one. And I think I've said this story. I've probably already told this story, but I'm going to tell it again. There was a company called G-Tech that you could put these little boxes in your car, and they'd tell you how fast you do quarter mile in and all that, blah, blah, blah. But it was GPS based, and this is before, really before navigation systems were a thing in your car. So this was a huge deal. So I strapped it to the back of my my Slash, and I drove it, and before I crashed, I had hit 77 miles an hour, 70. I can't remember perfectly, but I know I was in the 70 mile an hour range, which is pretty quick for just a Slash. But that's the only time I've ever measured speed in my RC cars. It's just not something I, had to care about. I mean, when I was racing my Losi 8, you didn't measure speed. You just went out and drove it, and if you won, great. If you didn't, you made some changes and made it better until it did win. And I won the championship that year. So, pretty happy about that. But that was a long time ago. So this is a first for me. And like I said, it's my expression, my interpretation of a speedrun vehicle. And if you think I don't know that carbon fiber weighs less than aluminum, come on. Could I go faster with it? I don't know, but maybe. Probably not going to go any slower. I might hit air, though, and fling it straight up into the sky. I've seen that happen. Watch the videos. And another thing, when I talk about an expression of myself, that is really what I mean, because if I wanted a carbon fiber chassis, I would get one. If I wanted one right now, everybody's giving me shit, oh, that's too heavy. Well, this is what I want. So I appreciate your opinion or your fact, because it can be a fact. And the fact is, I don't give a shit. I really don't. If you think I don't know that carbon fiber weighs less, well, I guess you need to tell me. Everybody get online and tell me carbon fiber weighs less. No shit. Blah, blah, blah. There's cheaper motors that are faster. Okay. That's great. If you watch this show, you know that I put the best of the best in my vehicles. And out of all the companies, Neu Racing, Neu Motors are the king. So, all right, that's enough of my bitching. So if you see me post a picture and somebody says, oh, that's heavy, comment right behind them and say he don't give a shit, because I don't. If somebody posts that there's faster motors cheaper, that's great. I could go buy one if I wanted to, but I don't. I want this one. Now, another reason I want this chassis is because it's upgradable. This chassis is made so you can run 4 motors. 4. So if I ever get a hair at my ass, I can put 2. Or if I get a big ass hair in my ass, I can do 4. So if I want to go for a record, I have the ability to upgrade this chassis to do it. But I don't want to right now. Well, I would. I'd love to, but I'm not going to sink that much money in my first try. This thing could go out there and just crash to shit. Everything explode. My lipos catch on fire. You never know what could happen. And with the lipos that I'm getting, the fire would be, I mean, this would be gone. It would just be gone. It would melt the aluminum. So yeah, we get to look forward to that. But anyway, so we've got this awesome motor. SBIPrints. They're on Instagram. The guy does an amazing job with 3D printing. So he is 3D printing me a, what do you call them? I don't know. One of these, only bigger and made for this situation. So it'll be about this long. And it'll support the back end. So motor support, Jesus Christ. But see, you can get a little flex. I don't have it tightened, but still, if I put a wedge in there, it'll be sturdy and work perfect forever. So he's making me one of those 3D printed. And then I got another mail call. Give me 1 second. I gotta find the sticker for this place so I can give them credit, because this is pretty massive. I can't remember their name. Oh, there it is. I got it. Which, by the way, these are the new motor stickers. That's pretty cool, right? These are nice stickers, by the way. But just as nice is this. Team Brood Racing. BROOD, Brood Racing. They make this. And I'm going to put that sticker on there once I get it mounted. So SBIPrints is also making me a holder for this to where it'll be mounted right here, and I can just slide this into it and it'll hold those in place. So look how big those are. Damn, man. That thing is massive. There's 5 big ass capacitors. And so that'll go right there. So you've seen the little capacitor packs called ripple packs. That's what that is, only for big boys. This one can be used from 6S to 12S. And 8S falls right in the middle there, and that should be perfect. So you wire this up, black to black, red to red, and then you put your connectors out here. And this charges during normal use, and if the power ever drops, this will shoot you out some power there to make sure that it's smooth instead of drop down. Like, you know, sometimes when you gun it, the power will drop because you gunned it and come back up. Well, this makes sure even if you floor it, it stays the same. That is the 2-cent definition of ripple packs. So I'll have a cool holder right here. It'll be mounted down with the screw holes, so it'll be part of the truck. Same thing with the motor support. There's holes right here, so I'm going to mount it, and so it stays put. Trying to do everything right, like I do on all my other vehicles, and doing things that nobody else is doing. So this is going to be a nightmare for other people. So I'm waiting on, I got three suppliers, parts. One I still got to order, but we've got RamJam. I got a bunch of, all their titanium parts are going to be in this except for the spool and the hubcaps. So I'm going to use the entire Infraction line from RamJam. Oh, I'm sorry, except for the spool, the wheel nuts, and the drive shafts. Because another order I have is for Perfect Pass, and I'm going to use their carbon fiber drive shafts, their spool, because the kit comes with the spool. And also from Perfect Pass, there's other things. Man, god damn it. Oh, their inner fenders. I mean, that's just sick. So on the speedrun cars, you use foam tires. Those foam tires kick up foam all over your car. Well, they've made plastic inner fender wells to keep that from happening. Is that extra weight? Well, it's plastic, but yeah, sure. Is it something you need on a speed car? I mean, not on a cheap ass speed car, but one like this, yeah, I want them. I want to be able to just dust this off instead of have to clean it every time I take it out. Because this one will be ran. I don't know how many times it'll be ran, but it will be ran. And we'll get speed numbers on her. Alright, so, and then the third one, I got RamJam, Perfect Pass, oh, and Scorched. I can't remember what I'm getting from Scorched, to be honest. But I'm getting a bunch of stuff. So those three orders, not including anything I have, just those three orders that I'm waiting on, is over $1,500. So I got $1,500 in parts scheduled to come, or I still got to place the order, because there's certain things you got to make sure of before you buy them. So like, I got the big pieces now, I think, so I can go ahead and place all my orders. And then the batteries. I haven't ordered the batteries, and I might wait, but I think SMCs are like the best. But I keep seeing everybody using Onyx. And so I think I'm usually not swayed by what everybody else is doing, but batteries or something, you gotta, somebody's tested them. Somebody knows they work. Many people know they work because a lot of people are using them. SMC, I don't, on the forums, I don't see anybody running them. So, I mean, they're supposed to be the #1 pack, but I think I'm going to have to go with Onyx. So, I don't know. I still haven't ordered the batteries, and who knows when I will. They're not needed right now anyway, but sometime soon I will order the batteries. And I think that's it. I've also got an order that I got to order from Arma, because I need all the bumpers. I'm going to use the stock bumpers, except for carbon fiber air dam in the front, winglets in the back, those little things. Which, that's another guy I gotta... Man, there's just so much shit that goes into this. I've done this before with all my other builds, but it seems like this one is just... Everything has to be precise. It's like, when I chose RamJam for my show curtain, I had no data or anything. I just said, oh shit, titanium parts. We gotta have all the titanium parts. So I bought them. And that's how the show curtain was built, based on fucking looks. And it looks amazing. The SCX6 buggy, that was a little easy because Vidavon, hooked us up with the chassis and links and everything. So really there wasn't anything I had to think about except for tires, fans, layout, the beast mode carbon fiber parts, stuff like that. This, every little part has to be special. Everything's a specialty part. I've never had one of these. I've had little ones, but I've never had anything like that in my cars. The XLX2, I've had the X8S, but not the XLX2, which is a beast, by the way. New motors, never heard of them. Have no idea. But now I know that Steve Neu is the owner. He's been doing this for a decade. And anyway, PPS, never heard of them either until EVS started taking over the business. And now both my show Creighton and this has this exact same mount, the grub screw lock, which is, it's awesome. It works great. And then just bash it. I mean, I know JBIRC because of my show Creighton as well. I started with their chassis, and then the shitty aluminum shock towers were crap, so I ordered Just Bash It shock towers, and they were great. So then I just started buying everything Just Bash It. So there's something else I want to... Oh, one, Perfect Pass. I'm getting my A-arms from Perfect Pass too. So it'll have all aluminum A-arms. But they're heavier, Sam. Plastic weighs way less. Yeah, fuck off. I don't give a shit. I want aluminum A-arms. What else? There was something else I was thinking of. Oh, shock towers are going to be made by Beast Mode. So those are going to be carbon fiber. There you go, guys. That's a weight reduction. I'm sorry for being so cynical, but I laugh every time I read the comments, and they kind of piss me off sometimes. And so there's just a shit ton of specific parts that have to be ordered and purchased for this thing. I mean, this motor was, and yes, I could have bought a cheaper one, but this motor was $500. This thing's $270. The chassis is $400. I mean, this is going to be a $7,000 speed run car. Crazy, right? But that's what it's going to be. And then I'm going to have my stock one over here. and it's going to be running. I'm going to play with it, speed run with this. I'll be set. Plus, it's going to be a fucking beautiful car, or truck, I should say. Beautiful truck. Everything fits without hitting. The only thing I'm worried about are the tires. They're a little bit bigger than what others are using. And when I put them in the fender wells, they look close. It'll depend on what setting my suspension's at. I might have to get a different set of tires, but you know, it is what it is. EVS just happened to have those in stock, so I picked them up. I don't know if they're better for drag racing, because I know Kurt over there at EVS, he likes to drag race instead of speed run. So maybe they're more for drag racing, which after I speed run this a couple times, I wouldn't mind drag racing it. Beast mode makes awesome wheelie bars, and I think that's all I really need to add to it to have a cool drag car. I don't know, we'll see. So next steps that I got with the parts that I got to do right now. I got to do all the soldering for this and get my QS8s on there. It's going to be dual QS8s. My batteries are going to have QS8s on them. Motor wires, I got to solder them end to end. Looks like I can cut them down a little bit, maybe. That's probably going to be about right. Yeah. Let's double check that real quick. So we got the 3 holes here. Let's just move that out of the way. Yeah. I mean, I could cut it down a little bit, but I think I might just want to leave it alone. Because it's going to get pushed in by the diff and everything. These are bendable, but you don't want to bend them too much. I don't know. End-to-end direct soldering. I don't think I've ever done that, but I'm a pretty good solderer, so I should be able to figure it out. Alright, so I'm done talking about my speed infraction. So, a couple things I want to talk about. One is in our new Facebook group, I have requested people to post pictures of their vehicle if they want to be featured on the Pissed Rhino show. So if you want to be featured, you have a cool car, something that you want to show off and explain to everybody, please go to the Pissed Rhino show on Facebook and join the group, and then put a picture of your vehicle in that post. And I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna start right now maybe once a month, but that doesn't mean if something cool shows up that I might do more than one. So keep that in mind. If you're not picked the first time, that doesn't mean you won't be picked. I'm kind of going through them by as they post. And we're not looking nothing against stock cars, but I'm looking for modifications. I'm looking for fully built, ground built, scale. I've never done scale. I'm not into scale, but it looks cool as hell. And I'd like to talk about it on my show. So anyway, if you have a cool ride, go into the Pissed Rhino Show on Facebook, and it literally is a group called the Pissed Rhino Show. I did that to make it easy for me so I don't forget, because I'm kind of an idiot. So go in there and join the group. First though, if you haven't subscribed to this show, make sure you do that. I don't do a lot of, I might do a show every other day, so you might get 3 notifications a week for this little show. So I don't bombard you with stuff. That's not what I'm wanting to do. So subscribe. Hit the bell, the buttons, the follows, the shares. Help me get some more people in here so we can do more stuff. Oh, we're making a little bit of ad revenue. It's a little bit, but it's growing, and I think it's like $60. Hey, everybody can laugh. Ha ha ha, you made $60. Well, I'm not even going to make that, because whatever I get from that, I'm going to buy giveaway stuff. And I'm also going to start asking all these companies that I'm using and promoting, I'm going to ask them for giveaway stuff. So we could start having a lot of giveaways if these companies truly stand behind their customers. So look forward to that. I think I've got the problem is if you own a Creighton, and I got Creighton parts, it's great. It's great for you. But if you don't own a Creighton, what are you going to do with Creighton parts? So I'm going to have like choices. That's what I've usually done in the past. I set a bunch of stuff out here on the table. We go through it, and the winner gets to choose one thing or 2 things or whatever. I've got some, what do I got down there so far? I got some RC stands. I've got some SCX6 stands. I got some mini T-bodies. Got some Proline tires down there, big boys. Little charger, some other stuff. Motor mount. So I got some stuff, and then I got all the stuff in the totes that I could go through as well. But I like giving away RC cars, so I might do that soon. I said I want to wait till 1,300. So if you guys could help us get to 1,300, I want to do a good giveaway. And then 1,500, I'll do another bigger giveaway, because 1,500 is way cool. So help me get to 1,500. Alright, one last little thing I want to talk about. And this is the bonus end. This my little truck, a little Mojave Grom. So I've been doing some work on it. I don't know if you can see this, but I got this all sanded down and smooth on the sides. I mean, really, I'm not sure why it didn't come that way, but it didn't. Let me see if I can get this off here. Sometimes it takes my little plastic pry bar, which it's going. So I've done some changes to this already, and I want to show you what I did. So the first thing I did was I put, I got a Hot Racing 59 tooth spur gear that I've got installed here. Smooth. It doesn't make as much noise for some reason. I'm pretty happy with that. I got a new motor mount for whenever my motor shows up. This is Hot Racing as well. I still have the GPM, but I didn't like the way it faced my motor, so I'm going to try this and see if it's any better. Front steering rack, I think I told you already, that's now GPM, and it is literally night and day. So do not, and I mean this wholeheartedly, do not buy the COWRC Hobby steering linkage. And I know the GPM works. There's others that will work, I'm sure, but the GPM works. So I stand behind it. So far. It might freaking break, but I doubt it. It is very well made. So I've got the spur, I've got the motor mount, I've got pinions now that go all the way up to, I think, 21, 22. I don't know, but I got a bunch of pinions. And then lastly, this is the last modification, and I've probably said this 100 times, but this is the last modification I'm going to do to this car, and it's my rear upper A-arms. So I'll get those put on today, and then I'm just waiting on my damn motor and ESC. Come on, Castle. Get off your ass and get me my motor and ESC. I bought one of your big ass ESCs for another build, you think? Because I know everybody's watching this. I know Castle is sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for me to release my next episode. So when you see this, Castle, please get me my motor and ESC. Yeah, I don't think that's what's happened. I think they could give a shit less. They have no idea who I am or what I do, but hopefully they will get me my shit back so I can run this. My wife's been practicing this whole time with her car, and I can't even drive mine. It's bullshit. Alright, so that's enough of me complaining. I think this is going to be... Let me show you this again. I mean, it kind of looks like shit. But what that does is that gives me... Look how much... It gets rid of all of this lip. And any... There were like some little motor braces down here that didn't fit my motor. So I cleaned them all up, smoothed them all out, and then my motor is going to have just that much more room, which is great. I mean, you can really see it right there. So yeah, it looks like shit, but I'm pretty proud of it. There's really no way to do that without making it look like shit. No slop in this steering. That's just the eyelet slop. The fraction of a millimeter that's between the eyelet and the screw and the eyelet and the aluminum. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. so far. I hate the wheels. I think today my wife got me some new wheels for my birthday. They're plastic, but I think I'm going to like them a lot more. So hopefully they're as cool as I think they are. And I'll be rolling on some new wheels the next time you see the Grom. I also think she got me a vacuum, a handheld little vacuum for cleaning up. I got the blower, and the blower is great, but sometimes you just need a vacuum to clean up. So, pretty excited about that. I like shaving that off, that plastic off, and sanding it down and filing it. That leaves a big mess. And you just can't blow it off because that would just be so much dust. So it would be nice to have a little vacuum. So hopefully that's what's going to happen today. I'll have one. Wanted one for a while. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have a unboxing, birthday unboxing. Oh, which by the way, I don't know if anybody knows or gives a shit. Today is my birthday. And somehow, I don't know how this happened, but I turned 50. Fucking 50. Oh my God. What happened? I remember when I was 25, I said, ha ha ha, it's my birthday. I'm halfway to 50. And now I'm there. It seems like just yesterday. But I'm old now. I can't even say that I'm not. So that kind of sucks. But, you know, I am pretty healthy. No heart attacks yet. So, no cancer. So, kind of doing okay in the life area. So I hope all of you guys are having a good week. And with that, I will see you next time right here on the Pastrana Show. Thanks, everybody.